And good morning, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma, and this is what I call my morning musings as I share some thoughts with you from Scripture about God's faithfulness in keeping His words to bring salvation. It's always such a thrill to be with you. I do appreciate all of the emails that I get, the encouragement, even those that disagree, asking me, well, what about this then, and what about that? Well, I'm currently sharing with you some thoughts on the resurrection, dealing with, currently, 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Now, before I go any further, I want to let you know, I offer a book entitled Exegetical Essays on the Resurrection. This is an absolutely wonderful commentary on 1 Corinthians 15, and it just goes through the chapter pointing out the prophetic background, the historical context, the New Testament context, in other words, how 1 Corinthians 15 relates to the rest of the story of Corinthians, etc., etc. Wonderful linguistic analysis in it, and this book normally sells for $17.95 plus $4.95 shipping, okay? But if you order the book, go to my website, www.eschatology.org or BibleProphecy.com. You order the book. Now, it will charge you the full price, but mention that you saw it on YouTube, and you can have this book $15 post-paid. I will refund the difference between, $15 and $17.95 plus the $4.95. You really need a copy of this book. Now, Paul says that his doctrine of the resurrection was nothing but the hope of Israel found in Moses and the prophets. Acts 26, 21 and following, Acts 24, 14 and 15, Acts 25, Acts 26. And oh, by the way, 1 Corinthians 15. Paul said that when the resurrection that he was anticipating was fulfilled, it would be the fulfillment of Isaiah 25, verse 8. On this mountain he will destroy death. Now, it also tells us in that day. In what day? In the day in which the Lord would destroy death. In that day would likewise be the time in which he would make a great banquet, a banquet of fine things, a banquet of wine on the lees. We don't know what lees are. I don't. Anyway. But the point of fact is, this is Isaiah 25:6. So, here is the Messianic banquet established at the time of the end of the millennium resurrection of Isaiah 25:8, which, by the way, is posited as the time of Israel's salvation, which is Romans 11, 25 to 27, but I won't talk about that today. Here's what I want to share with you, all right? Very simply stated, Isaiah 25, verse 8 is a prediction of the end of the millennium resurrection. The resurrection of Isaiah 25, verse 8 would be established in the day of the Messianic banquet. Now watch this. And by the way, I offered this argument in my debate with Joel McDermott, July 19th to the 21st here in Ardmore, Oklahoma. And he tried to say, well, they're two different events at two different times. No, they're not. They are in that day. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's in the same 24-hour day. It simply means that at the same time period, not 2,000 years divorced from one another, that's not in that day, but in that day, all right, same time period. I would say in the same generation, all right? Be that as it may, once again, Isaiah 25, verse 8, the end of the millennium resurrection. But in that day is likewise the Messianic banquet. So, watch this. Matthew chapter 8, verse 11. The centurion came to Jesus asking that his servant be healed. Jesus healed the servant based upon the centurion's great faith. Jesus said, I've not found such a great faith in all of Israel. And then he said this, and verily I say unto you, many will come from the east and the west, and shall sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom, and the sons of the kingdom shall be cast out. Well, everyone admits, almost everyone, that Matthew chapter 8 is the Messianic banquet of Isaiah chapter 25. I mean, after all, how is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob going to sit down in the kingdom? Unless that's the resurrection. They're going to sit down at the kingdom in Hades? Doesn't work very well, does it? So, Matthew chapter 8 is the Messianic banquet. But the Messianic banquet is the end of the millennium resurrection. Okay, now watch this. You've got to catch the power of this, folks. When would that Messianic banquet, when Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob would sit down in the kingdom, when would that take place? When the sons of the kingdom are cast out. Matthew 8:11. Now, folks, it can't be the church, because the church will never be cast out. Who are the only sons of God to be cast out? Well, according to Galatians chapter 4, 21 and following, it was the old covenant seed of Israel that would be cast out for persecuting the true seed of Abraham. Old covenant Israel. So what do we have? The resurrection of 1 Corinthians 15 would be established at the time of the Messianic banquet. The Messianic banquet would be established when Old Covenant Israel was cast out, according to Jesus himself. Therefore, the resurrection of 1 Corinthians 15 was to be when Old Covenant Israel was cast out. That's some pretty powerful stuff, folks. Hey, don't forget, get yourself a copy of Exegetical Essays on the Resurrection. You really, really need this book. Go to my website, www.eschatology.org, www.bibleprophecy.com. Order the book, Essays on the Resurrection. It will charge you the full price. Mention that you saw the offer on YouTube. You can have the book $15 post-paid. I will refund the difference. Get a copy of this today. Great to have you with me this morning. We'll see you on the flip side.